Amaka and Amara were inseparable best friends, known throughout the village for their unbreakable bond. Their friendship was the envy of many, often held up as an example of true companionship for the younger girls in the community. However, things began to change when Amaka married the wealthy and charming Ndoka. Amaka's marriage was the talk of the town for 3 market days. Amara couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy as the spotlight shifted to her newly married friend. People would look at her everywhere she went. Some would say, "Your friend is married now. When are you getting married?" These questions kept getting to Amara. When Amaka got married, she reduced how she frequented Amara's home. When Amara asked why she changed, she said, "I am sorry, Amara, but my mother-in-law said I am not to be seen with single ladies. But don't worry, she can't stop me from visiting you. You have always been my friend and will always be," Amaka added. Amara hugged her and said thank you. 2 years later, Amara was still single and Amaka had no child of her own. After her 3rd year of marriage, her husband, Ndoka, told her he wanted to take another wife, as his family were already pressuring him, and he also needed a heir to take over his property when he died. "My husband, please don't do this to me. Give me some time, please. I am begging you. I believe the gods will hear us and give us our children. I will provide you with a child from my womb. Please," Amaka begged. "My love, I wish I could do that right now. I wish I had that time. I wish I could stop them putting pressure on me, but I can't do anything. My hands are tied," Ndoka said. Seeing that Ndoka's mind was made up, she said, Okay, let me choose your wife for you. Let me choose the woman you will marry, please. I cannot allow you to bring just anybody to this home." "Okay, I would wait for your choice then," Ndoka said. Amaka was very sad. She couldn't eat for days, and so it affected her because she reduced weight. When Amara didn't see or hear from her for days, she decided to visit her. When she got there, she saw Amaka crying. Amara rushed to Amaka's side, concern etched on her face. "Amaka, my dear friend, what is troubling you? Why are you in tears?" she asked, her voice filled with genuine worry. Amaka sniffed, trying to compose herself before speaking. "Amara, my marriage is falling apart," she confessed, her voice trembling. Amara's eyes widened in shock. "What happened? Please tell me," she urged, her heart aching for her friend. Amaka's tears flowed freely now as she revealed the painful truth. "I cannot bear a child for my husband, and he wants to take another wife. I pleaded with him, begged for more time, but he refused," she sobbed. Amara's heart broke for her friend, and she wrapped her arms around Amaka, offering comfort and support. Amara, seeing her friend in distress, approached her with a comforting embrace, and just as Amara hugged her, an idea came to Amaka, and she dismantled herself from the embrace and said, "Please marry my husband. Please make me the happiest woman and marry my husband. It will help our friendship. We will become closer." Amara, taken aback by the unexpected proposal, responded with a mix of anger and confusion. "Amaka, what are you saying? This is madness. What is wrong with you? Help me, my friend. Help me. Don't let people laugh at me. Please," Amaka continued begging, but Amara was stubborn. She kept crying and crying, refusing to let her go until Amara accepts her offer. Seeing Amaka's unwavering determination, Amara finally relented, telling her she wants to go home and promising to consider her proposition. Amaka, overjoyed, hugged her friend tightly before she departed. In her heart, Amaka believed that having her best friend as her husband's wife would bring them closer than ever before. Little did she know what the future held for her decision that day. A week later, Amara delivered her response to Amaka's request. "I have pondered your words, and I will marry your husband," she announced when they met at Amaka's home. Overwhelmed with happiness, Amaka embraced Amara, expressing her gratitude for choosing to help her. A few weeks passed, and Nduka paid Amara's bride price, bringing her home as his wife. Amaka's joy knew no bounds as she welcomed them and showed Amara to her new room. She served them a meal she had prepared with love. After they finished eating, Amara retired to Nduka's room, where she slept every night. It wasn't until a month later that Amara began experiencing bouts of nausea and vomiting. A visit to the native doctor confirmed her suspicions. She was pregnant. And not just that, she was carrying a baby boy. The future held surprises for them all. Amara's joy was immeasurable. As soon as Amaka heard the news, she burst into dance and began singing praises to the gods. She was overjoyed for her friend. When Amara returned home, Amaka eagerly rushed to give her a warm hug, but Amara pushed her away and accused her of trying to harm the baby in her womb. Amaka was taken aback, but quickly apologized, saying, "Forgive me, my friend. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to hug you and express my gratitude for removing the shame from my husband and me." Amara sneered at her friend and walked away. Amaka's husband had witnessed the whole scene. When Amara entered the house, he approached Amaka and reassured her, saying, "My dear wife, don't take what just happened to heart. You know how pregnant women can be. Don't mind her, okay?" He hugged Amaka and held her hands, and they went inside together. From that day on, Amara's behavior changed. She would wake up in the morning and refuse to lift a finger. Instead, she would sit and watch as Amaka did all the household chores. She even went as far as ordering Amaka to cook and fetch water for her to bathe. Amaka continued to do everything just to please her friend. One day, Nduka saw Amara sitting idly while Amaka walked tirelessly around the house. He called out to Amara and said, "Amara, why don't you try doing something around the house? It will help the baby not to be lazy when he is born." Amara replied, "My husband, I don't blame you. You have no idea what I'm going through. Do you think it's easy to carry a baby? I'm doing my best, but what can I do? I don't even blame my so-called best friend. She's barren. What does she know about carrying a child in her womb?" Nduka was furious and wanted to slap Amara, but Amaka stepped in and stopped him, saying, "You can't do that in my presence, my husband. What will people say?" "Don't worry, her words do not hurt me." Nduka, filled with anger, stormed off and went inside. Amaka turned to Amara, but couldn't find the words to speak. Tears streamed down her face as she ran inside. After 3 months had passed since the incident, Amaka fell ill. Nduka wasted no time and immediately called for the native doctor. When the doctor arrived and examined her, he looked at her with a smile and said, "You have been blessed by the gods, my child. You are carrying a child." Amaka couldn't believe what she was hearing and asked in disbelief, "Are you certain about this?" The native doctor reassured her, "Yes, my child. You are already 6 months pregnant." Amaka's joy knew no bounds. Nduka entered the room and the news was shared with him, and he too was overjoyed. When Amara heard the news, she was filled with anger. She despised the idea of Amaka being pregnant. She thought to herself, "No, this cannot be happening. If she's pregnant, my plans will be ruined, and I won't allow that." She refused to accept the fact that Amaka was carrying a child. In her mind, her son was meant to be Nduka's sole heir. That evening, Amara entered Amaka's room and sat beside her. She sincerely apologized for her past behavior and the hurtful things she had said. She pleaded, "Amaka, my dearest friend, I am truly sorry for how I treated you and the words I spoke. Please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. I am deeply sorry." Amaka gestured for her to come closer, and when she did, Amaka embraced her and said, "Our friendship means everything to me. I forgave you even before you asked. Thank you so much, my friend. Amara expressed her gratitude. They spent the night talking and eventually fell asleep together in Amaka's room. From that day forward, Amara changed her ways and they resumed their activities together, just like they used to. Nduka was delighted to see them getting along. Amaka held a special place in his heart, and he often requested her presence by his side, which fueled Amara's jealousy and anger. A few months later, both Amaka and Amara gave birth to baby boys. Nduka was overjoyed, as he was not only a father to one child, but now a father to two boys. Nduka threw a grand celebration, slaughtering the biggest cow and instructing the cooks to prepare the most delicious meals. Everyone came and enjoyed the feast. Amaka and Amara were dressed in beautiful attire, while the babies were adorned in the finest clothes. During the naming ceremony, Amaka named her son Chidiebere, and Amara named her son Chimaobi. People couldn't stop gushing over Amaka's child, praising his handsomeness. "He looks just like you," they told Amaka. She simply smiled and replied, "He looks like his father." After the festivities, they retired to their rooms. 5 years later, Amaka fell seriously ill and her condition deteriorated rapidly. Nduka, deeply concerned, traveled to the next village to bring back a renowned native doctor. On his return journey, he encountered passerby who offered their condolences, informing him of Amaka's passing. Shocked, Nduka raced home, only to find Amaka lifeless on the bed, with Chidebere crying beside her and Amara in tears. Nduka wept bitterly, then composed himself, taking Chidi to his room. After Amaka's burial, Nduka insisted that Chidi sleep in his room, much to Amara's dismay. Nduka poured all his love and attention into Chidi, fulfilling his every wish. He taught Chidi how to farm and care for the cattle, ensuring the boy had everything he needed. Amara observed the situation and decided to have a conversation with her husband about it. One night, she approached him in his room and requested to speak privately, as Chidi was also present. Nduka then asked Chidi to go and stay with his brother Chimaobi. "My husband, I don't appreciate how you only pay attention to Chidi. Isn't Chimaobi your son as well?" Amara expressed. "But you know that his mother is no longer with us. I am the only parent he has," Nduka replied in a comforting tone. Amara simply sighed and left the room. A month later, Nduka woke up one morning and instructed Chidi to move to the parlor to sleep. From that day onwards, Nduka stopped providing for Chidi. Before Chidi could eat, he had to gather firewood, fetch water, and ensure all the household chores were completed. At such a young age, Amara told Chidi to start selling goods in the market, while she ensured that Chimaobi, her son, attended school. She continued mistreating Chidi, often resulting to physical punishment for the slightest mistakes. This mistreatment persisted until Chidi turned 15. One day, a very wealthy man came back from abroad and wanted to pick an apprentice who will serve him. When he came to the village, he decided to ask the village elders to recommend a boy who will be his apprentice, someone that is hardworking and strong. The elders recommended Chidi, and the man, whom everyone calls Chief, decided to go to Chidi's house and ask his father Nduka for permission to carry Chidi along with him to the city. Upon meeting with Amara and Nduka, Chief expressed his intentions. Amara saw this as an opportunity to rid herself of Chidi and persuaded her husband to allow Chief to take him. Nduka agreed and entrusted Chidi to Chief. With Chidi's departure, Amara couldn't contain her happiness, knowing that all the attention and support will now be solely focused on her son Chimaobi. She made sure that Nduka provided everything Chimaobi needed for school, while Chidi immersed himself in the world of trading. Chimaobi dedicated himself to his studies. After successfully completing his high school exams, he secured admission into the university. Chimaobi continued his education, while Chidi toiled away, working hard. A decade later, Chief settled Chidi allowing him to start his own business, while Chimaobi successfully graduated from the university. However, when Chimaobi struggled to find a job, he made the decision to return to the village for a while. 2 years after Chidi's settlement, he decided to pay his father a visit in the village. As soon as he drove into his father's compound, all eyes were on the car, curious to see who was inside. When Chidi stepped out of the car, he appeared different. Since Chidi had left for the city with Chief, his father Ndoka hadn't checked up on him or made any attempts to reach out, and neither had Amara. So it was a surprise for them to see him in the village with a car. People around noticed him and rushed to greet him. Filled with joy, Nduka couldn't take his eyes off Chidi, his face reflecting astonishment. Once Chidi was free from the warm embraces and greetings of the villagers, he hurriedly embraced his father. Tears of joy streamed down his face, and a single tear escaped Nduka's eyes as well. They went inside and talked, with Chidi sharing everything that had transpired over the years. His father was overjoyed to hear it all. Chidi wanted to ask why his father hadn't bothered to reach out to him during those years, but he decided it wasn't the right time. Amara's heart burned with anger as she watched Chidi and Nduka bonding once again. Amara was very upset on seeing Chidi and Nduka bonding again. Her heart was boiling with anger. She prepared food and served them. Before leaving, she turned. Looking at Chidi, she said, "Chidi, I hope everything went well in the city." Chidi replied with a smile and said, "Yes, ma, thank you so much for asking," turned and continued his conversation with his father. Later that night, after they had finished eating, Nduka invited Chidi to sleep in his room. Chidi felt a surge of happiness, knowing that his father was back to his old self. When Chimaobi returned, he was overjoyed to see Chidi, and they embraced warmly. The following day, Chidi called his father and his stepmother Amara and told them he wanted to start building a house. His father, filled with pride, stood up, stretched his hand and asked Chidi to kneel down so he could bless him. Chidi did, and he blessed him. He took Chidi outside and gave him a portion of his land to start building his house. Chidi was elated by the news, and word quickly spread about his upcoming house. The next morning, Amara left without informing anyone of her whereabouts. When the men woke up, Nduka suggested they go to the farm, so Chidi could gather some things from the farm to take with him to the city. They took cutlasses and hoes and set off to the farm. In the afternoon, Amara returned and prepared a mouth-watering egusi soup and fufu. As soon as she heard Chidi's voice, she set the food on the table for him. She then went to fetch some palm wine to accompany his meal. However, when Chidi returned from the bathroom, Chimaobi had already started eating the food, without questioning its origin. Just as Chimaobi was halfway through his meal, his mother entered the room, and immediately she saw him eating the food. She asked, "Where did you get the food you are eating?" And Chimaobi replied, "I saw the food here and I was hungry, so I started eating." "I have killed my own child with my own hands, so my life, oh!" Amara kept screaming and shouting. And just then, Chimaobi started shouting, "My stomach! Ah, my stomach! My stomach hurts! It hurts badly!" He kept shouting and clutching to his stomach and slowly died. Amara was crying and shouting. People started gathering. Chidi heard the screams and rushed out, only to see the lifeless body of Chimaobi beside the food he ate, and his stepmother crying and screaming. Nduka came out too and asked what was going on. Everyone turned towards Amara's direction, and a man said, "Start talking. What did you put in the food?" Amara began narrating. "The day Nduka met Amaka, I was with her, and immediately I saw Nduka. I fell deeply in love with him, but he chose Amaka instead of me. I was happy when Amaka came to beg me to marry Nduka because she couldn't conceive at the time, but I pretended as if I wasn't interested. But I was very happy because I thought the gods had favored me to finally take what was mine. But when I married Nduka and became pregnant, Amaka also conceived, and Nduka was giving her all the attention. As if that wasn't enough, we both gave birth to boys, but Nduka loves Amaka and her son more than me and my child. So I grew jealous and poisoned Amaka. Everybody shouted, "You killed Amaka," someone said. "Let her finish," another person said. And Amara continued. After Amaka died, I thought I would have Nduka all to myself, but he channeled all those love to Chidi. I tried to make him love me and my son the natural way, but he made it worse by always sleeping in the same room with Chidi. I went to the native doctor and he gave me a charm to use and divert his attention from Chidi to me and my son. Everyone erupted in shouts once again. She patiently waited for the commotion to subside before she continued. I urged him to send Chidi away so that he could solely focus on me and my son. Just when I was happy that my son is a graduate and was going to get a job soon, Chidi came back with a car. I couldn't bear the thought of Chidi surpassing my son, so I sought the help of the native doctor once more, and he gave me poison, which I put inside the food I made for Chidi, for him to eat and die. Why will he be richer than my son? Why will Amaka keep haunting me even when she's dead? I didn't mean to kill my son, no, Chimobi. Oh, Chimobi, mo. I didn't mean to kill my son, no. Amara kept crying. She quickly rushed and carried the remaining food and ate. People were just watching her. Everyone still shocked at the revelation. After eating the food, she clutched to her stomach and slowly died. Chidi and Nduka stood frozen, unable to utter a single word. Chidi embraced his father, and together they wept. The people present assisted in carrying the lifeless bodies of Amara and her son Chimobi outside, where they were laid to rest. A month after the burial ceremony of Chimobi and Amara, Chidi came back to the village and started building his house. Within 5 months, he was done with it. Following that, he married a young, beautiful woman from their village. Together, they welcomed 5 adorable children into the world, naming their first daughter Chiamaka, thus making Ndoka a proud grandfather. I hope you found this story captivating. Thank you for your unwavering support and for always watching and liking my videos. I'm so sorry I took so long to upload another video. If you liked this video, please like, comment your thoughts and what you learned, subscribe and share with your friends. And remember, jealousy is a destructive force. When envy creeps into your heart, pray against it and stop that feeling before it consumes you. Celebrate the success of others and in turn, good things will come your way. See you in my next video. Bye.